Hi and welcome back. Today we are on day 11 and it is all about self-worth and increasing your level of worthiness, your awareness of the inherent thing that you already are worthy, okay? And I want to start this off before I even get into anything else. I want you to know that you already are worthy. And it's just a remembrance. It's about coming back to that, and it's about clearing out, releasing the things that tell you otherwise. So on this video, I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to do that, as well as I want to share a really inspiring client win and share with you all of the things that shifted in her life, like literally within a few weeks, because she focused so deeply on this level of worthiness. Because as we increase what we believe we deserve, we become magnets to that next level. We become magnets to the things that we want to call in. So really cool, really exciting stuff. Let's get started. Welcome back. If you are catching this live, comment, drop some hearts as you pop on. And if you catch this on the replay, comment replay, let me know you're here. I'm so excited to be diving into this today. I was like sitting outside in the sun, taking a little break between calls, and I was like, you know what, I feel like this is what's on my heart today, because as someone who personally used to feel very unworthy, and I used to struggle a lot with believing I deserved good things in life, I had this really strange duality, like this strange split in terms of there was a part of me that like knew I was meant for more, and there was a part of me that was like, oh, like I'm supposed to do these things, and I had these big dreams, and I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to like work with animals and work with people and work with the planet. I wanted to make all these beautiful impacts and help others to do the same. And I knew, like a part of me knew this is what I was here for, and I knew I was meant to have like really healthy, beautiful relationships. I knew I deserved money. I knew I deserved all good things. And yet on the other side, there was this part of me that really didn't feel worthy at all and was constantly questioning herself, doubting herself, giving into insecurities, and ultimately just replaying this story of like, I'm not good enough. And it was from that state, like if I look back now with the awareness that I have, if I look back, I can see that like when I was in that state of unworthiness, that was the most challenging time of my life. And that was when a lot of my biggest traumas and painful memories and experiences and heartbreaks and most of my suffering happened in that place. And I don't want to get into the whole law of attraction side of things, because I'm not trying to say that like I attracted that and attracted like some really traumatic things, but I am just trying to draw the parallel here, and you can reflect on this in your own life of like when you're feeling your least worthy, what kind of things show up in your life. And actually this will be task 1. So we've got day 11. Task 1 is to journal on the get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and write down like feeling worthy, and write down feeling unworthy on the other side. And what I'm going to have you do is, like really tune in. What are some moments or times in your life where you did feel worthy, where you did feel confident and you believed in yourself? And write those down. Write down the things that kind of were happening at that time on the one list. And then write down on the other list, feeling unworthy, reflect, tune in. What sort of things were going on in your life at that time? Because I'm sure, I was just thinking about how this has come up in my life. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. That's perfect timing. I literally was just like, like 30 minutes ago, I was like, this is exactly what needs to be talked about today. So I'm so glad that it's good for you, good timing. So yeah, on the other side of the paper, you've got feeling unworthy, and write down, what are some of the things that were kind of showing up in your life at that time, okay? So there is going to be a really powerful realization from doing this, because you're going to notice that there is a correlation of your inner reality and the external reality. So when you're in a reality, when you're feeling worthy internally and you know you're good enough, you're feeling confident, you know, that could be as simple as just like a night out, or like an accomplishment, or you're doing something and you just feel aligned, you're feeling good, and you feel worthy, you feel deserving, you're kind of like in this beautiful, expansive, and open state. Well, what sort of things kind of showed up in your life at that time while you were feeling that way? I know for me, when I feel worthy and I'm in like this really beautiful energy, I attract the most random, incredible things into my life. Like unexpected people, unexpected opportunities, unexpected money, you name it. Like it just will start to show up randomly, but it's not random. It's coming because I'm a vibrational match and because I believe I deserve it. And that's what I'm going to get into even more in a second. So, task 1, write out that list, feeling worthy, and write out some experiences of things that happened while you were feeling worthy. And then write out feeling unworthy. I know when I was feeling my most unworthy, I attracted some really, really negative people into my life, some really toxic experiences, or traumatic experiences, not toxic, very traumatic experiences. I attracted a lot of debt because I didn't feel worthy of having money. I didn't feel worthy of better, right? So you can see very clearly in this task kind of the correlation between your self-worth. So that's task 1. Now, with the awareness of that, it really allows you to, I think, commit and put that extra emphasis on, okay, what are the things I can do to help me feel more worthy? And this is where we get into kind of the whole process behind it. The whole process behind it is, as I teach, and what I think is the most powerful way to make those lasting transformations, is a 3-step process. And I feel like you have to do all 3 steps in the right order if you want real lasting results. I see a lot of people, they come to me, they're trying step 2, and then they're wondering why it's not really working, it's not really sticking, and that's because they didn't start with step 1. So it can't stick. It's like the steps, right? It's the foundation. There's a lot of people also trying step number 3, but they haven't done the other 2, and so they're actually still continuing to attract things that match that unworthiness, right? So it's a 3-step. It's so powerful, and yet it's like, it's going to make a lot of sense when I share it. So step number 1 is to really, really, really do the deep releasing and clearing out of the things that are blocking you or making you feel unworthy. So the very first thing I said on this video is that you are already worthy right here, right now, no matter what you've lived through, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter what things you regret, you are worthy. Know it, believe it. Replay that over and over again if you need to, but you already are. The reason you don't feel worthy, if you're watching this, I'm just making that assumption that you don't fully feel worthy right now. The reasons that you don't feel worthy is because there are things that you're holding on to that you've kind of attached to and identified with as who you are. So you've identified with your traumas. You've identified with your insecurities or your doubts. You've identified with those negative limiting beliefs that I've talked about on previous days in this challenge, right? You're identifying with those stories or those negative things, and those keep you in this lower place and in this spiral where you're literally just looping through it over and over again. And I know because I've been there, so I get it. But if we want to make lasting change and really feel worthy enough, we have to start to reflect and release and clear out those things. We have to dispel those stories, those myths, so that we can remember what is true, which is we already are worthy. So it's like, this is why step number 1, I believe, is honestly the most powerful step, but it's also the step most people don't want to do, because it requires you to look within. It requires you to look at some of the pain, and that's not always easy. And most people just want to kind of push it aside, brush it under the rug, keep themselves busy, you just keep moving around and hoping it will go away, but it doesn't, because it's unreleased. It's still energy in the body, mind, and soul, and it's still there. So the releasing is step number one. And it's really about having that awareness and releasing, clearing those things, seeing them differently, no longer attaching and identifying the same way that you have, so that those can clear out. And this is the first step that I teach my clients inside Release to Thrive, because it's so important, it's so crucial. And that's the foundation. That's what sets them up for massive success. And so step number two is all about rebuilding, because you can't rebuild, you can't implant and put in positive habits or positive energy or confidence or like self-empowerment. You can't put these things in there if there's nowhere to friggin' put them. If you are so overflowed and like bursting at the seams with all of those struggles and negative beliefs and doubts and stuff, where do you put the positive things? There's nowhere to put them. You can't just keep pouring water in a full cup and expect like it to sit, right? It's just going to keep overflowing because the other stuff has to leave first. That's kind of a horrible analogy. It's like, it didn't work very well, but you get what I mean. So you have to, like, if you want something to last, if you want to notice a real change, you would empty that cup first and then fill it with like tea. Like I love drinking tea. So like if I want to drink tea and I want that, I've got to have an empty cup first. Like it's no good if I have like a cup full of water. It's a cup full of mud. Let's do that. It's a cup full of mud. It's heavy, it's thick, it's dark. You don't want to drink it. Doesn't taste good. It reminds you of pain and suffering. Like it literally is just like repulsive. You don't want to be there. But that's what it is. You know, we can't ignore it. We can't bottle it up. We can't dismiss it. That's what it is. It's a cup of mud. And if I were to just pour tea on top of a cup of mud, I'm still not really going to be left with tea. I'm going to be left with a mess. Now this analogy is working, okay? So when we release, when we clear out, we do step one, we remove that mud. Now we have this beautiful empty vessel. And it's from that place that we can refill it with whatever it is we want. And that's where the positive things come in, the empowerment, the self-worth, all the tools that are going to allow you to really stand strong in who you are, really speak up and own your truth, own your voice, you know, really chase after the life that you know you're meant for, and you're actually going to feel deserving and worthy of having it, because all of that mud is gone. And if there's still little bits of mud, you know exactly how to clear it out and remove it, because I will be 100% honest, there's always layers. So there's always going to be something new where you're like, ooh, that's pulling me back, or that doesn't feel good. But you have the tools to clear it out and then refill again, right? So step two is where the real rebuilding phase comes in, and you start to feel so much better. And this is where I want to share an incredible client story really quickly, because one of my clients, Stephanie, I want to share the things that were in her life at the beginning of working together are pretty common, like super, super common. I've met so many women who are in that place. And so she was working a job that she didn't really like, you know, it wasn't her biggest passion, but it was paying the bills. With that said, she was overworking. She was working so hard. She'd been there for years and years, was super underappreciated and undervalued, wasn't getting, you know, recognition or acknowledgement, didn't feel like they actually cared about her. She was overworking and underpaid, right? She was also in a partnership with someone who, you know, wasn't fully committing to her, and then it made her question herself and feel unworthy. He was kind of like not cheating, because it was a little bit of an open relationship, but he was like saying some things and like being there and kind of expecting things from her. But then meanwhile, you know, he wasn't being super loyal, and it was kind of that sneaky behavior. And she was still settling. She was still putting up with it. And so as we worked together throughout the 90-day program, throughout Release to Thrive, she we cleared out the mud, we cleared out the muck and the reasons why she didn't feel worthy of better things. And literally within weeks, she attracted this amazing job opportunity in a different city. She got the job, so we worked on the confidence and everything moving into her interview and everything. She absolutely nailed it, got the job. And in that process, she also manifested this random but beautiful house to live in for her and her son. She had been previously living in a small place because she was struggling financially with the job that she had been settling at. And her and her son had never had their own beds. And so because of this new job that was actually paying her way more and giving her all these opportunities for growth and to further her education, they were paying for all of these things for her. She was able to afford and move into this beautiful home where her and her son could finally have their own rooms. Like his first bed, I think he was 5 years old at this time when they moved. And so it was so beautiful, the things that came because she up-leveled her self-worth. She knew what she deserved, and she was no longer putting up with the nonsense or the mud and the muck, right? And if we look at her relationship, instead of constantly letting what was going on with him make her doubt herself and feel unworthy or question or like, am I good enough? Or why isn't he showing up the way I want to? And being in that place, she realized, wait, like I deserve so much better than that. And if he doesn't see that, if he doesn't want to commit, or if like we're not a match, like if I want something more and he doesn't want that, I'm not settling. I'm not putting up with this anymore. I know I deserve better. And so she spoke up, she set these new standards, and it actually elevated their relationship to a whole new level because of that. And so it was just this really beautiful transformation. But those external things would not have happened had she not done the inner work, had she not come back to knowing what she deserved and doing the work to clear that out and align with it, okay? So that was step 2, is like now we can rebuild and build the confidence. Drop some hearts if you found that story beautiful as I did. I usually cry when I think about it because I just remember the phone call when she got the job and then found this house, and it was so amazing. So when we do that, then we can move into step 3, okay? And step 3, with reclaiming your worth and really like tapping into that, is going to be connecting back to the core of who you are, connecting back to your intuition, your inner gifts, your inner power and strength, and using law of attraction, manifesting, becoming a magnet to miracles. And this is where I see so many people trying to skip to step 3, just understanding law of attraction, or like, I'm just trying to manifest a better partner, or I'm trying to manifest more money or a better job. But you can't actually align if you haven't cleared out the mud first, and you can't actually align with what you want if you don't feel confident and worthy, right? So like those first 2 steps have to happen in order to actually be a match and draw in what you do want. That was such a beautiful story. I love it so much. Yay! Thank you. I'm so glad. So do I. It's so beautiful. It's so inspiring. So step 3 is where you actually start to become that vibrational match. And as I said, because you've done all this releasing, you know you deserve so much better. And so you're living and vibrating and operating from this new standard. And that's the huge thing. One of my mentors told me, the standards you set determine the life you get. And at the time I didn't believe it, because I was kind of like, well, no, because like these things happened and those were out of my control, and this happened and that, I had no power over that, blah, blah, blah. And yes, on a certain level, that's true. There were things going on. There are things in life that aren't within our personal control. With that said, the standards of what I was available for were very low. So this is going to be task 2 for you guys, because I'm just remembering to do more homework. This will be a huge one. Task 2 is looking at, what am I currently available for? What am I currently available for? And therefore, what am I currently letting in or kind of settling for? And look at this in regards to your relationships. Look at this in regards to your money. Look at this in regards to your career. Look at this in regards to like the life that you're living and how satisfied you are. Because you might be setting standards that are still lower because you don't feel worthy of something better. And if that's the case, this is where we can work together. This is where I can really help you shift and do these 3 steps as I just shared, so that you can make a massive change in your life. So I'm going to drop a link down below after this video to my Release to Thrive program, and there's a button on there to book a free discovery call. It's 45 minutes. You and I can chat. We can really dive into what's going on in your life, in your situation, and where it is you want to get to. And if this feels like a good fit, if I can help you, we can chat about that and look at next steps and look at what that would be. If not, I'll just try and help you as much as I can and see if I can direct you in the right way. But this is the process. Like, this is how we make lasting change, and it does. It all starts from within first, okay? So task 2 is to look at what are the current standards. What am I currently available for in my life? And this is a beautiful question to ask yourself when something shows up, when like someone shows up and they're taking advantage of you. It's like, wait a minute. If I'm going to take radical responsibility here, I'm going to go, okay, well, what am I available for right now? Like, what was I available for that this person showed up? Was there a way that I was maybe feeling unworthy, or I was feeling like I deserved that, or not, or feeling like I didn't deserve something better, right? Because then they were just mirroring it back to me. Or in my career, or in my money, it's like, what am I currently available for? Because you might be saying, oh, I want that promotion and I want to make more money and I don't feel respected from my boss, or blah, blah, blah. And you might be grumbling like I used to and be feeling like it's something external. But what are you personally available for? Because if you actually look at this and dive in, chances are there's a part of you that doesn't feel worthy of something more, or doesn't feel like it's possible. You don't feel like you deserve it, or you're ready yet. And so you are actually blocking yourself. And that's why that releasing, that's why emptying that cup of mud to have the clarity, to have the freedom, to have the ability to now fill it with something pure and clean and loving and abundant, returning to source, the truth of who you are, is going to be so powerful in allowing you to actually now set those new standards and realize that, okay, I'm not available for that anymore. Personally, I used to be available for men to treat me very poorly because I didn't feel worthy of better. And so I was always available for it. I kind of let them get away with it. I'm not taking the blame by any means, but I was like, oh, like maybe that's the best I can get. And so I settled. But when I changed those standards and I realized, okay, I'm not available for that anymore. I know I deserve better. I did the work. I did this exact process that I teach for my clients. And I realized I am worthy of so much more. When I connected to that energy, I up-leveled my standards. So the standards you set determine the life you get, and I determined and set new standards. And then therefore I started to attract way more conscious men into my life, and some really beautiful experiences. Things that I had always been dreaming of and like thinking and wanting, but never feeling like it was possible because I had been too stuck in this other place before. So like, you are a magnet. You get to attract whatever you want, but you have to believe you're worthy. You have to believe you're deserving of it. Because if you don't feel worthy, you will always end up blocking it for some reason, or sabotaging it if it does come in, okay? So that is the work, that is the practice. So that is your homework for today. I'm going to finish this video here. If you found it helpful, let me know in the comments down below. Drop some hearts or give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Monday for the next video. And yeah, really take this seriously. Take this process, because again, we can't skip it. We can't jump over. Like, there's a reason it works so well when I take my clients through it, and that's because we got to clear that mud out first in order to start feeling truly worthy and knowing it like at the core of who we are. Okay, so if you're interested in working together and knowing more, again, that link is going to be down below. I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to see how I could support you and help you, because this will change every single area of your life. And I'm not kidding when I say that. And I'm not just like throwing that out there. Like, it's true. This work changes everything when you realize you deserve better, okay? And I want every single one of you, I want every single person on this planet to be living their best life, whatever that looks like to them, and to be full and confident and empowered and expansive and like doing all the things that they dream of doing, because that's exactly what you are put here for. So if you're struggling and you're ready to finally tap in and create that life for yourself, then I am here to help, okay? And yeah, I'll leave it there. Sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next video.